Hello, namaste. It's lovely to connect with you today. My name is Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here, I've set up a bit of a space of ceremony, I guess, ready for our healing event, which is starting in 30 minutes for my Pillar of Light family. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys then. So I'm ready early and thought I would stop by and share some guidance for what day. I've got my notes here. Thursday and Friday, of course. So Thursday the 21st, Friday the 22nd of June is the reason why I'm here. So I trust that everything's flowing well for you and things are good. You've had a great solstice. Well, it's probably the beginning of yours, maybe where you are. It's the end of my day here. I had a really great day in nature. Hello, Ellen and Linnell. Lovely to see you. So welcome, extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. If you're new to watching, welcome. What I'm going to be doing is using my Speed of Light Oracle cards, and I'm going to look for the best card for Thursday the 21st of June, and the best card for Friday the 22nd of June, and then the best card for the theme for Thursday and Friday. So I'm not doing personal reading requests here today. This is general guidance for everyone. So I trust you've been led here for a reason. Take a nice deep breath if you want to. Just catch your breath, find your center, and allow yourself to connect in a way that feels right for you. That's what you might need right now. So I trust in perfect timing, and I trust that I'm sharing here at the right time. I trust that you happen to be online at the right time too. So I don't feel that there are any accidents. So just take on board what feels right, let the rest go, and just think of this as a guide only. It's just a guide. So I'm going to start by shuffling my cards and looking for the best card for Thursday, the 21st of June. See, I'm used to having my notes just under my phone, so I keep looking there and there's nothing, and remembering that my notes are actually behind the candle today. So Thursday, the 21st of June. I trust that the best card will find its way to the top. That will be the most helpful for the majority of us. So, what's it going to be? It's been a really beautiful, strong energy around today. I actually went for a walk in nature. I went to I walked my sacred walk. My favourite place ever to go, which is about 45 minutes drive from here, and I did that walk by myself, and I realised that this particular walk, I was walking with my shadow, which is really interesting to me, being the winter solstice. The shadows were so long, and the light, the sun so bright. It's just beautiful, and I realised that there aren't any. If there's no light, there are no shadows. So wherever there's shadow, there's light, and wherever there's light, there's shadow. Just like when I was in hairdressing, I learned that there's actually no colour unless there's light. So it's interesting. I've been playing around with some thoughts about light and dark today, and really celebrating my shadow side, which is a part of who I am. It's a part of all of us. Sometimes we try and push away our fear or the wounds, things that have happened that we store in our shadow side, if you like. But really, in truth, it's a part of us. So we have that part. Sometimes it's quite loud and sometimes it's not. So anyway, after all that, let's go with this card for Thursday, the 21st of May. Hello, Kari and Tom and Erin. Lovely to see you, and Denise. Okay, this is our card. I feel like I'm so far away. This is our card for Thursday, Sensuality, the Dolphins. It's a featured card, so it has further instructions here, which I am going to follow. So it says, breathe deeply and choose a random card. So I'm just going to breathe deeply, fan the deck out, and not really think about it, but just go to the card that I want to go to, which is that, Expression. So let's put the deck down and look at these two cards. So we have two cards that have come up for Thursday. What I'm going to do is look at these separately, and then we're going to look at their relationship together. So let's start with card 46, called Sensuality, with these dolphins. The key words say love, breath, relationship, and passion. So this is talking about breathing life and passion back into ourselves again. This has been quite a hot topic. I've talked about getting into our life, reviving our passions a lot in this last week or two. So this is really about, and it's really about it from another angle. We're looking at, with this card, thinking about how we can breathe a life back into ourselves. So usually this card comes up when we've been feeling a bit deflated or a bit flat or a bit, I get this kind of sense of, we have dreams, we have goals, but sometimes they don't happen as quickly as we would hope or as we would like. So if there's something that you feel a bit disappointed about, I guess is what I'm trying to say, then this card for Thursday is about really thinking about how you can work with your breath to breathe life back into yourself again. Like if you were a balloon and you'd become deflated and all the air sucked out from your body, and thinking about how you can breathe that air back in and re-inflate yourself if you were like a balloon. There's also an element of reconnection in this card in our relationships, including, I'm very aware, I don't want to get this over the candle and have it go up in flames. Increasing our connections in our relationships, but also our relationship with ourselves, and how we can spend some really good quality time with ourselves, but also with those that we love in our relationship, or our closest primary relationship, I guess you could say. The other card that came with this for Thursday is card 31, called Expression. And the key words say communication, listen, share, deliver, and trust. So this is about communicating what we feel we need to say or share, or our truth, whatever feels important to us. So it might be important for some of us on Thursday to speak up and share what's been on our mind, or share what we've been worried about, and get that energy moving. Sorry, I think I bumped my microphone. Get that energy moving out from our body. To express it means that we're letting that energy move. Now, if we look at these two cards together, we've got the relationship card, the love card, and expression or communication. So this is talking about, probably quite simply, in our relationships, opening up our communications and really speaking up from our heart in those closest relationships that we have, especially if things have been a bit uncomfortable or a bit tense in our relationship lately. We may need to just take a deep breath and speak up and say how we feel, or say what we're concerned about, to get the energy moving. It's horrible when we're in a space of division or divide in our closest relationships because one or both parties are holding back communicating. So we all know an important element of any relationship is communication, whether it's a relationship with a lover, a family figure, a child, a friend, a co-worker. We have to be able to communicate and be open and honest as best as we can. So this is going to be especially important on Thursday for some of us, is opening up our communications, especially in love. But we can also look at this perhaps as in our relationship with ourselves. Are we listening? Are we communicating with ourselves? Are we understanding how we feel, what we're going through? Are we ignoring how we feel or ignoring what's going on for us, and therefore closing down that part of ourselves and holding ourselves back. So communicating, listening, expressing ourselves is a key in letting ourselves move forward, and especially out of a deflated or kind of rut energy we may have been in lately. So that's the guidance for Thursday. I trust it makes sense for you. I'm now looking for the best card for Friday the 22nd of June. So Friday the 22nd. Just remember, take on board what feels right. Just let the rest go. If it makes sense to you or if it resonates, you will know, because it will seem like I'm talking directly to you. So you can trust what feels right for you. So Friday the 22nd, I trust that the best card for the majority of us is this. Is it reception? Oh, I do that all the time. When I was creating this deck, I was going to call this reception, and I've got it stuck in my head because I changed the title to Overlapping Worlds. It's card 23, Overlapping Worlds here. And the keywords say reception, senses, beacon, frequency, and veil. This is a really interesting card to get up on the solstice, on the summer solstice perhaps for you, the winter solstice for us here. But there's this sense of a thinning of the veils, if you like, an overlapping of the worlds, a sense of being, a sense of connection across the spectrum, I want to say, on the vertical and also the horizontal planes. So a sense of things coming together, a sense of understanding other people's points of view, perhaps more than we did before. This kind of feeling, even between us and other people, of almost like our auras overlapping, and we kind of being on this mutual ground, this common ground, this mutual understanding between us that might be not even need to be spoken, maybe more telepathic, perhaps more subtle in these connections, but this sense that things are overlapping. So what that means to me, another angle we can look at this, is that two objects, two physical objects, say my two hands here for an example, sometimes, or two people, I guess there might be a better example, sometimes we can feel so distant between ourselves and another person. Let's say a parent figure, we could feel really distant even if they're sitting right beside us. There's a feeling of distance even though they might not be physically far away. And then at other times, and perhaps through open communication and opening our hearts, listening, whatever it might be, there's this sense that the gap is being bridged and that our energies start to overlap. And it kind of takes me back to Thursday's message, which was about communication in relationships or communication with ourselves, and that this energy, expressing and communicating and expressing and saying how we feel, is helping bridge the gap or the distance that we've been feeling in our relationships, and also feeling in our life. We might feel quite distant between with ourselves and our work, for example, or ourselves and our dream, ourselves and our home. We might be just kind of feeling a bit detached or separate. It's kind of a bit hard to explain. But on Friday, with this overlapping worlds card, it feels like the distance is going to seem smaller, like we're overlapping. So what's the point of this? I feel like it's about recognizing that we are connected, that we are all in this together, that we are one, we are united, and that we are more, that we belong here, you know. We belong here in this world. When we feel, the more separate we feel, the more isolated and the more distance we feel from things in our life or people in our life, even if they're right next to us, the more separate and alone we feel. So as that distance is being what's the word? Explored, I guess, in a way, we're starting to bring everything to us. So feeling that we belong, feeling that we are a part of this world, a part of our life, a part of other people's lives. And that feels important. It feels like it's happening underneath whatever's going to happen on the surface on Friday. The distance is being bridged. We might be feeling quite our senses on high alert and quite sensitive too on Friday. Our intuition and our psychic senses may be quite alert and quite activated, especially as the Kundalini energy moves up. The Kundalini has awakened in this last couple of days. What day is it? Thursday. So in the last, within the last week, our Kundalini energy has awoken, and that's an energy that basically upgrades our energy vibration, and it sits usually dormant, or what we would call asleep, in our base chakra. And then when we've reached a certain level of learning, our Kundalini energy awakens and it surges up through our body, through our chakras, through our spine, and it's working its way up through our body now. It happens a couple of times a year. So this is happening at this time. So it feels with this card as well that it might potentially move up to those upper areas where we can sort of sense subtle energy and our intuition can be quite turned on. So let's trust what we sense. Let's work with this energy as we feel it. If we're feeling that the gap is being lessened or is being bridged, especially on Friday, let's work with that energy. It might be a really great time to reach out to people that we haven't connected with lately. Reach out with family members that we've just been too busy to get in touch with. They're probably not high on our priority, but we may have been thinking about them lately. So let's make that phone call. Let's reach out and perhaps go and visit or connect and start, building bridges in the gapped parts of our life with people, with ourselves, but also with our workplace, our home, our dreams, our goals as well. So that's the guidance for Friday, overlapping worlds, bridging the gap. So if there's a sense of distance or gap that you've been feeling in any area of your life that you've noticed lately, and you've been thinking perhaps over the last week every now and then that, I must contact that person, or I must go and visit so-and-so or such and such, then perhaps it's time to really think about implementing that and taking some action. So now I'm looking for, I trust that makes sense, I'm now looking for the theme card for Thursday and Friday. I'm just checking the time. 10 minutes. So if you're our Pillar of Light family, I'll be over in our group in 10 minutes to do a bit of a ceremony with you and share with you in our healing event. So I better quickly do this and not talk for too long. So the best card for the theme, which will help us see the bigger picture and bring these days together, is this. Da-dum. Oh, we've got Stepping In, card 16, I think. Yep, 16. The key words say solo, commitment, test, allow and flow. So test immediately stands out. And this is part of the Kundalini activating. We're being tested. But we're being tested on things that we've recently learned, which is the crazy thing when we're going through an upgrade like this, an energy upgrade or surge. It's like when we're in school and we learn about geography or whatever it might be throughout the year, and then at the end of the year we're examined on what we learned that year. It's the same when we go through a Kundalini awakening or activation. We go through an initiation period or a testing time, which is like an exam, but on things that we've already learned. We may be hit with it in a different angle of the lesson, but it's still something that we have recently been learning or understanding. It's testing to see if we've really learned that before we pass through those gates, if you like, of initiation into that next level of vibration. So this is a testing time, but it's not an impossible test to go through because we already learned the basics. We've just got to remember back over these last few months, or even the last 6 months, to other times when we felt like this? What did we learn? Oh, yes, I learned that. Implement it now and move past that test, to pass that exam, if you like. So this card's also about stepping in and making a solo commitment in our life. A solo commitment to our happiness, it could simply be. Maybe a solo commitment to something that we want to implement in our life. Maybe to learn something new, or take our skills or techniques to a new level. So we're really encouraged to be careful that we're not making excuses to say, like, I'm waiting for this person before I can commit, or I'm waiting till I have enough finances before I can commit, or I'm waiting for a certain date before I can commit. If we're making reasons why we're not making a commitment, then we might need to look at, okay, do I really want to make this commitment? And deciding yes or no. There's kind of this feeling here. So if you're making excuses or waiting on things too much, it might be worth looking at, okay, why am I waiting? Am I creating delay tactics? And if so, why? Is this something that I'm not meant to be doing? Or is this something I'm meant to be doing and I just need to make a commitment? I just need to decide in my own mind and in my own heart that yes, I'm going to commit to this, and then take action or proceed accordingly. So be careful you're not making delay tactics and just continuing to put something off in the waiting. So this is about, these next couple of days are about committing to ourselves, committing to our relationships, and committing to bridging the gaps in our life. The gaps, we may sense these gaps. Let's think about how we can bridge them and commit to building a bridge over these gaps. What would that take? How would you build that bridge? Do you need to reach out to someone? Do you need to heal something? Do you need to face something? So step in, step into yourself, into your heart, and make a commitment if that's something that you're inspired to do. Trust that. Step into the flow. Let things move. Stop creating a stagnant space in your life by waiting or creating delay tactics, if that makes sense to you. So thank you. I'm actually going to draw an Animal Kingdom card. Have I got time? I better check. Excuse me, I have to get up. I haven't got supersonic. Oops. I haven't got really super long arms. So I've just used my Speed of Light Oracle cards, which are available now. They've been completely created by me. There's 55 cards in that deck. If you want to learn more about them, just have a look on my website. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you want to connect more privately, just send us a message through our website. If you do want to learn more about the work that I do, please visit my website at templeofbalance.com.au. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. I'm just finishing up by grabbing an Animal Kingdom Oracle cards. These are my upcoming deck. Almost finished, like so close to being finished. Really, if I had a whole day, I could probably finish them in a whole day. So we're only about a week away from these being complete, and then I'll be sourcing out a printer. So in the next 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, these will be open for pre-orders, which is really exciting because they've been over 4 years in the making. So it's so good to get to this stage. But what I'm doing now is I'm just looking for the best card for you, the best card for you now, or for us as individuals now. What do we need to know right now, this moment that we're connecting, live or on the replay or wherever you might be? We're going to go with this card here. Oh, we've got the Raven. And this takes us back full circle. At the very beginning, I was talking about the shadows, wasn't I? This is Raven card 17. It says, face your shadow with honesty. Oh, hello, Puss. Face your shadow with honesty. Be honest about your wounds, your hurts, what's holding you back at this time, your fear. Don't ignore them. Hello. Don't ignore them. Let them speak to you. Listen to them. Maybe that's part of the gap that you might need to bridge if you're inspired to, is bridging that gap between your light and your shadow. It's important at the solstice, isn't it? Because it's the longest night or the longest day, depending on where we are on the planet. So that's Raven, and if Raven speaks personally to you, if you have a personal connection with Raven, then that's your personal sign too, so you can take whatever you take from Raven's message. But think about facing your shadow side, your darkness, your wounds with honesty. So I'm going to leave that with you. Thanks so much for joining me today. I trust you've enjoyed our connection. I'll be back to share with you again real soon. If you're in our Pillar of Light family, I'll be back to share with you in just a couple of minutes. So I'll be flowing over to our private group and sharing some healing energy with you pretty much now. So I'll see you over there now. So thanks so much. Sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. Thank you. Namaste.